Hi, Craig. Good to meet you.
Stefan, thank you for inviting me.
Oh, got great pleasure indeed. Craig, I've been wanting to talk to you for a while. You're regularly somewhere at the top of the table in most of the rowing challenges that the Diamonds have. So I'm curious, what is your preferred distance or time?
I thought longer distances were my best. And then recently, since I've been on the slides and I've only been rowing shorter distances in training, the shorter distances have been better. I have the endurance, but I don't have the speed and power to do like what Phil Lowry does at 13 seconds. I can't get down there, but I can still hold. I can hold my best time over periods of time.
So are you on slides all the time now?
No, no, I would be 50% slides, 50% row. Just mix it up. Just at the moment, I'm trying to beat my 6 kilometre time on slides, and so I've been doing a little bit of time on the slides, but I still haven't got anywhere near it.
So how would you describe the difference? I mean, I've interviewed a number of people who have articulated that it's been better for their back to be on the slides. They're faster, or they expend more energy on the slides. How would you put it?
I think you really notice how much you have to use your feet. You really have to push through. For me, the back, I don't have any back problems anyway, so I haven't noticed anything different there. I just feel that you can go faster, and I don't know, it seems to be more smoother.
Do you use the slides for longer distances then, or is there a preference?
No, not a preference. I just try to improve my times for the ranking ones, but I can definitely do faster times on the 500 on the slides, and but on the 1,000 I'm about the same. But I really haven't pushed myself hard enough. I think I need to be in a competition to see where I can go in 1,000 because it hurts so much. I just can't go there. You just can't put yourself in that pain every day.
No. Well, we were talking just before we started recording, and you said you just done 10K. That would be on the static machine, then,
No,
presumably.
that was on slides today.
Okay.
But sometimes I'll do 5 minutes on the ski, 5 minutes on the static, then put it on the slides, 5 minutes on the slides, 5 minutes on the bike, and do that three or four times, just
Okay.
for the variety. And I'm not going hard. I'm just trying to burn calories. The only reason I really row is for my health. But it's only been the last 3 or 4 years that I've joined the Diamonds, and I've got the app, and I realise that there's competitions. I never knew that, so I would just row for my fitness, for my own health, for my own well-being.
And have you been coached for rowing at all? But are you one of those people that will look at all the different methods, I mean, and sort of try and work it out yourself?
I have looked at them, but I don't know. You'd have to video yourself to see what you're doing. To me, like I'm not getting hurt. So, and the main thing is for my health. So if I'm just rowing and I'm staying healthy, that's what's most important for me. That's a real bonus since I've joined the Diamonds, that I've got all these new motivations. But at the moment, I'm in the second half of my 60 to 65, and I'm just not able to do what I used to do.
I'm a little bit ahead of you, so I'm looking forward to the 65. Being a new boy in the 65 plus group.
Yeah, well, I mean, the good thing about that, you're there, but that's the bonus, isn't it? Just to get there. I see some of the guys who are rowing at 80, and I think, wow, just to be rowing at 80, it doesn't. You don't need to beat anyone. If you're rowing at 80, you're in front.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's amazing to see what Gary Aitchison does.
On that, Kurt, who does
Yeah.
really well.
But despite being very casual about the training and the methodology, you are pretty close, if not at the top, of most of the challenges. So why?
I'm competitive. I don't like to lose during the event. When I'm finished, I don't care. Like, I'm happy to. If someone's better than me, I'm happy for them. But if I didn't try my best and they beat me, I'd be upset. But if
Okay.
they beat me and they were too good, I'm happy with that.
But just maybe push that a little bit further. Why would you be upset?
With myself, because I didn't. Because if I didn't try my best, I'd be upset. If it meant something to me, like if I get on the bike, I don't care if anyone beats me because I don't rate that I'm any good on the bike. But on the rower, I have expectations of myself, and I think I would be upset if I didn't do my best.
Well, that's clear. Do you row every day?
I would average 6 hours a week. So last year I did 300 hours. That's including the bike, the erg, and the ski erg. So I would do 6 hours a week. Yeah. Some days maybe an hour and a half, and it might be an hour in the morning, and then I might go in the gym and do a few little weights, and then just do 2 minutes in between weights on the bike. So it's not always flat out, but I'm always trying to tick over. I'm never one of these people who go, I'm going to have an off season. I don't have an off season.
Okay, so do you consciously manage rest and recovery in
No,
that case?
no. I listen to my body, but sometimes your body lies. Sometimes I'm going to the gym and I don't want to go, and I get there and I'm fine. So I think the hardest part about training, I've always said, is getting there.
Yeah.
The other option is if I don't do anything, I might seize up.
Has that happened?
No, but I just know, you get overweight, lethargic, you don't do it one day, then you don't do it 2 days, you don't do it 3 days, and then it's a month, and then I don't know what happens, but I just don't want to get in that position that I can't come back.
I got injured last year, quite a nasty injury, and I couldn't train properly for about 3 months. And it's taken over a year to get back to where I was at that time.
Yeah, I can understand that, and that's my fear, because I think that you get rewarded for training. I mean, I've been training since I was 6, and I think the rewards we start to realise now. We get the rewards now. Like my knees aren't very, very good, but at least I can. If someone says let's go for a 20K hike, I can go. Someone says let's go for a 5 kilometre swim, I can go.
So when did you start rowing, and why rowing? You mentioned because of your health, but what got you into it?
I'm a fireman, so in every fire station there's a rowing machine. And when I first joined in 2000 in the fire brigade, the gyms just had a few little weights and a rowing machine, so I would just get on the rowing machine. And I remember the very first time I did it, I had the damper up at 10, and I did 1 hour, 15 kilometres, and then when it finished, I tried to get off and I couldn't move. I just couldn't move. My legs had seized, my hamstrings, and I remember crawling to the shower and going, oh, geez, I hope I don't get a call. And so I've had that a few other times. It's happened to me after a marathon. So I quickly learned that the damper shouldn't be at 10.
Yeah, painful lesson. I'm in Portugal right now, and the fire stations here all have Concepts 2 in them.
Yeah, we have a rowing machine and a ski erg in our gym. And it's a lot of weights. It's a pretty good gym. And so we spend at least an hour a day in there because we do 24-hour shifts. And so sometimes we'll go early in the morning and then we might go in the afternoon as well, do a little bit. So the guys can't get on the rowing machine because I'm on it for the hour we're in the gym. But mind you, they don't want to get on it.
There is something, sometimes I get a bit nervous about getting on the rowing machine because I know I don't want to let myself down. So in order to not let myself down, I'm going to have to go through quite a lot of pain. There's no fun involved.
No, I understand everything you said there. And the last 2 days, I haven't rowed because I know I'm not going to do well. And today I did a 6 kilometre in 25 minutes, which is pretty slow for me. And then I kept going. I did another 4 kilometres later. But I'm sort of getting used to just ticking over now rather than like I never, ever would row under 57.7 was the minimum lowest I could row. And that gave me 5,100 for 20 minutes. And that was my minimum. I always say that's solid without being really hard. And so, and even on my machine at home, my average still over 2 million metres is still under 157. But now I'm mixing it up a lot. I used to just row for an hour. I just go and row for an hour. Now I'm mixing it up. 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 2 minutes. The CTC now might do a couple of practice runs on that. This month one looks a bit tricky for me.
Yeah, well, it starts tomorrow, I think, doesn't it? But I have to admit that I have practiced a couple of times already.
Okay. Well, I don't think I can row that. I've tried. I just can't concentrate to go that. Like I'll lose concentration and then, oops, I'm up to 25 without knowing.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to have to really concentrate on this one.
Well, that's the beauty of it changing every month. It keeps you fresh, so to speak.
Yeah. This month, I didn't think I'd do as well as I did. I think the rolling starts helped me because when I just do a static 100, I'm not that great. But the rolling starts, so I'm starting 5-6 seconds before, and I'm flat out when it's going at zero, and then the last 3 or 4 strokes I can just not ease off, but I'm not trying to get faster. I'm just trying to hold, and that way I felt like I was recovering quicker rather than pushing right to the last second.
Yeah. I appreciate you're in Spain right now, but I think we could do with more Aussie diamonds. But what is the erg scene like in Australia?
Yeah, I think I don't know why. Maybe because we've got so much water. Everyone who does row does it on the water. I'm not sure. I mean, I do it because originally I did start to take it up because I couldn't do the runs anymore, and it was hurting my knees so much. So I thought I don't get any soreness from rowing, and so for me, it's just a way of training, and then not waking up tomorrow sore. So, but to answer your question, I really don't know. There's plenty of ergs, but if you go to a gym, no one's on them. Not that I go to gyms because I got one at home, and during after COVID, the gym I used to go to shut down. So, and we had 4 ergs in that gym, and we would do group workouts on the ergs and that. Now, I really don't know. I don't think it's that competitive here. I've only recently found it myself in the last 3 years through joining the Diamonds and having the erg app.
And you mentioned using other ergs, and you mentioned running. Is there anything else that you do?
Oh, I play golf 3 times a week. So not here in Spain. And when I'm in Australia, I'm a member down at the local golf course, and I play there 3 times a week, at least 3 times a week.
Whereabouts in Australia are you from?
I'm from Sydney. Oh, our golf course is down the south of Sydney, right on the coast, on the beach. Yeah, so it's a little private course, and it's a nice course.
Yeah, yeah. And you mentioned that you've got knee problems. How are you doing with injury generally? You carrying anything that you're struggling with?
No, not really. No, I'm being lucky. I limp. I walk with a limp, but that's because my left knee is bone on bone, I think. But they always say if your knee's hurting before you go to sleep, if you can't sleep because of the pain, maybe it's time for a new knee. But I don't have any pain. I only have pain after golf. If I'm walking 10 kilometres, I'm limping and I don't know. They say, why are you limping? Like, I'm not limping. Yes, you are. I'm just so used to it. And but I think that's kind of like at the moment, I'm struggling a little bit, like with flexibility or agility. So if I had to get up off the ground, I couldn't jump up. I'd put one hand here, another hand here, and then foot there, and get up that way rather than jump up. But if I was warm, I could probably jump up. But if I was lying on the ground, not in the middle of a training session, I'd look like an old man trying to get up.
What about other sports that you've been involved in as a younger man?
Well, I played a lot of soccer when I was young, a lot of rugby league. Played rugby up until I was in my 40s. And then cricket, a lot of cricket, a lot of swimming in the ocean. I did a little bit of surfing when I was young, but it never really took on with me. But a lot of my friends did, but I didn't. I played a lot of winter sport. We don't have a lot of snow in Australia, so I didn't do a lot of snow skiing or anything like that. But I still enjoy watching a lot of sport now. Every day I would look and watch the sport.
So have you been in the fire service all your career?
No, only since 2000. Before that, I was a carpenter. I still am a carpenter. Not that I do any carpentry except in the house, but yeah, so that was a good move for me. It was always working for the government. You always got a paycheck. It's a great job, a lot of good mentors.
But you're not in the fire service anymore?
Yes, yeah, I'm still there. So we get a thing called long service leave. So every year you're in the service, you get 2 weeks long service leave, or the first 10 years it's 1 week, and then after that you get 2 weeks, and you put that in the bank. And so the last 4 or 5 years I've been sort of doing 3 or 4 months at work and then 2 or 3 months away. And then it's a way of sort of semi-retiring.
But when you go back to Australia, presumably you kind of clock in and you're available.
Straight back in. Yep, straight back into work when I get home. I think I go back to work in 1st or 2nd of September. But I am getting closer to deciding that's enough.
Well, presumably there's a retirement age when you've got to give up anyway.
No, not really. No. If you're fit enough, there's one guy who's in their 70s still going. But most people go at 60. It just depends on what you've saved over the years.
And obviously you're Australian and you're in Spain right now. Do you want to just talk a little bit about that? How does that work?
Well, because I started learning Spanish in 2012 when I was traveling through Guatemala, and I was with a friend who could speak Spanish, and I got sick of saying, ask him this, ask him that. What's that mean? So when I was in Guatemala, I went to a Spanish school and lived with a local family for 2 weeks, and I just loved it. So I just loved the experience, and so I started to learn Spanish ever since. And I've returned to Guatemala maybe 5 years in a row after that for 2 or 3 weeks just to go to school. And I still speak to my teacher now twice a week, 1 hour, a call like this. Just mainly talking, and so I travelled from South America, South America, Bolivia, going to schools in Argentina, in Peru, in Bolivia, in Colombia, in Ecuador. I went to all Spanish schools for 2 weeks and ended up in Guatemala and Mexico and studied there. And so I came to Spain, and then I met Anna, who's Spanish, where we are now, in a conversation exchange. So you go to a little bar and you just do conversation, like there's a table that says English to Spanish and Spanish to English, or French to English, or French to Spanish. And so that's what happened. And so we just became friends, and now we've been together like 10 years now.
So you've got a kind of routine established?
Well, it's the Schengen visa, which allows me to be in Spain for 184 days out of a year. So I can go 3 months on, 3 months off, 3 months on for the rest of my life. But as it turns out, we've been in Morocco as well, because Anna has worked in Morocco. And so we spent maybe 6 or 7 months in Morocco. Anna was working in Casablanca, and also in Tetuan, which is on the Mediterranean side. And I went to a Spanish school there as well when I was there. And I met a lot of good people who were Moroccans who were learning Spanish. I have a lot of friends from there. So we went back last weekend just to say hello to them. We hadn't been there for 3 years. It's been great. So I've learned a lot. My Spanish is horrible, but I can get by. I'm getting better. I listen to the news, and I say to Anna, "Is that what they just said?" And goes, sometimes I get it, but I've got to concentrate.
Will you settle in Spain, do you think?
Not permanently. I'd like to do at least 3 months to 6 months in Australia every year. And Anna's been into it with me a lot in Australia, and her son's come over as well.
Does Anna cope with your, I was going to say addiction, but it's not the right word, but your commitment to personal challenge and competition through exercise?
She loves it. Before we met, she never did any exercise, and now she's every day doing something. Or running, and now she swims. We go to the pool, and she can do 40 laps without stopping. She couldn't do that. She couldn't do one before. Now she can run 7 kilometres. We walked across Spain. We did the Camino de Santiago, which is a 800-kilometre walk, and that starts on the French side of the Pyrenees, and you walk over there. And by day 3, you're in Pamplona, and 28 days later, we made it all the way to Santiago, which was a painful experience, but I didn't complain once. And this was in 2016, and she's just grown. She loves it. She didn't eat very much before. She wasn't a vegetarian, but she didn't like meat. Now she likes all different foods, so it's been great for her as well. She loves it. She gets on the rower. She's not very fast, but she gets on it. She was on it this morning.
Wonderful. You mentioned Pamplona or Santiago de Compostela. Have you got any more projects planned? Any things like that you want to do?
Not so much the walks, because they hurt. I did also the northern way, which follows the coast of the northern coast, Spain. That was a 21-day walk. I just walked across there, but not really. Not so much walking. Maybe on the bike. Yeah, we did a bike ride the other day, which is an old railway track, which is being converted into a bike track through the mountains of the Sierra Nevada. But not really. I don't have any grand plan. I would like to get one day a mobile home, put my rail machine in that, and go and visit all the diamonds in Europe, and have one session with them all.
How serious are you?
Well, I have to retire, but I'd have to make sure Anna wasn't working. If she wasn't working, it would be great. It's a plan. It's a dream, maybe.
And without that, how do you think your own kind of exercise routines will evolve? Will you concentrate on longer distances, do you think, and less sprinting? Or
no, I'm happy now doing 10 to 15 minutes most, and then get off, do something else, get on. Just sitting on for an hour. It's not my favourite.
Okay. I would imagine the jet lag knocks you out for a few days either side of the journey.
When I first arrived here, it took me a week. I was going to bed at 7 o'clock at night, waking up at 2 in the morning, and then going down the gym. And then it takes a week. It really depends on what time you fly and what time you arrive in Spain. If you arrive in Spain at night, you might be able to get a good sleep and then wake up all right. If you arrive in the day, early in the morning, you sort of get to 4 o'clock in the afternoon and you need to sleep, and then you're awake. Jet lag's funny. It doesn't matter if you've had 3 hours sleep. You just wake up and you can't get to sleep. No matter how hard you try, you can't. And then all of a sudden, bang, it kills you.
And do you when you're settled, do you sleep well?
Yes, yeah, I'm a good sleeper. Different hours in here. When I'm in Australia, I'm always up about 5:30 in the morning. Always 5:30. Here it's 8:30, 9 some days because here you're not going to sleep until you're out. You could even be out walking the streets at 11:30 at night. And it's just different culture here.
Yeah. And you're a morning.
More a morning rower than an afternoon rower, but I have improved in the last 3 years to do afternoons, where I could never do afternoons. It was always get it done. Training's finished. Now what? Especially here where I have a good gym in the house here. I can go down any time.
Yeah. And have you connected with the local kind of erging community or rowers in Malaga?
There's a gym which I went to for many years here before I had the row machine here, and they have 3 or 4 ergs. I would be the only one who would ever row in there. Or, I noticed on Facebook a Spanish like a Facebook page, but I think they're mainly up in Barcelona, maybe that way.
Yeah. Well, maybe any Spanish ergers that watch this, please make contact, and
yeah,
we'd love to know more.
Yeah, because I used to row in the World Police Fire Games, and there was a Spanish guy who would always turn up. So I did that for 4 or 5 years. Every 2 years they would be on. So that was going back to your original question. How did I get involved? Well, I was in Sheffield, England, for the Fire Games, but we were just there just to compete. And there was a rowing competition on in the same thing, and I went in the 500 metre one, and I won it. And I rowed. I remember the time it was 1:21.4, and I didn't know if it was good. I didn't know if it was bad, but I was lucky enough. There was also a 2 kilometre competition, so everyone concentrated on that. And then after their 2K comp, they did the 500, so they were all spent. So I ended up winning that, and that sort of got me, wow, okay. So from that was the day that I continued to compete up until about 2011. Then I stopped going to those games.
I remember my first rowing competition, which is more than 25 years ago, and I did it because of a bunch of firemen that I knew that were competing in a relay, needed somebody to come and do it with them. So I remember that relay racing for the fire service was a thing that I haven't done since, but people used to do it quite a lot. You give what you can on the rowing machine, then somebody would come and push you off and another person would jump on.
Yeah, well, I would like to do that. I've seen that there's 100-kilometre events and that you can do in a team. I would do that if the Diamonds got a team together. I would travel to wherever they decided to do it.
Interesting. We'll talk to Rod about it.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I think Rod holds the world record for that. He's in one of the teams for that. So he's probably not that interested in otherwise beating his own. He doesn't want to lose his record.
That's true. Well, he's got a new lease of life at the moment, Rod. He's gone back to his old training methods and doing really well. So maybe.
That's good. Before I started rowing with the Diamonds, I would always do different training. But since COVID, it's mainly the concept too, and less weights, mainly the rowing or the bike or the ski erg. And so maybe I've got to get back into a bit more swimming. Or when I play golf, I think that's good because I'm doing the 10-kilometre walk. Yeah. And so, but I do really think I need someone to train with. You can't train as hard by yourself as you can with somebody else. I do miss that. We had a great bunch of guys, and after the COVID, we had the gym stopped and everyone's gone their own different way now. And that was a shame because that was going since 92. We had a great group that 3 or 4 times a week we would train.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing about sport is the community, not just people interacting with each other, but giving kind of benchmarks to each other and just little sort of tips and ideas.
And the banter. Come on, you can, that's what I miss. Yeah, and you just have a sense of obligation to do your best when you're with someone. And I know lately I'm not going as hard as I could.
Okay.
And I know that happens with age, but I don't know. I think it's good motivation for me to stay fit. I just like the health side of it more than the health is more important. I see some people, anyone who posts on Facebook their times, and I think, wow, if you're doing your best, doesn't matter what time. I think that's great.
I agree with you, but when you get on the machine, you're competing against yourself.
It's like golf. I'm not trying to beat anyone. I'm only just trying to have a good day for myself, and and just cut down my mistakes. Yeah, same on the erg. You get there and you just want to do your very best. And then even if I have a really good row and do my best, even if I got a record, I've forgotten that in 60 seconds. But it was important to do that. If
Yeah,
I hadn't, I would worry about it for a day.
yeah. There's that horrible feeling when you haven't done that well in a workout, and you know you need to rest a bit before you try again. But there's a kind of gnawing feeling that you've let yourself down.
Yeah, yeah. I fail many times. I'll go on a 5 kilometre time trial and I'll get 2 kilometres in and just stop. And then next day I'll go 2.5. Next day I'll go 3, and then you might make it. Get
Yeah,
to
it's
5.
interesting. Sometimes it's better just to stop rather than carry on and do very, very badly.
No,
Just
I
stop.
stop because if I can't keep that time, I know what time I need to go. I just go, no, not today. And then next day I'll try and go, all right, might have been a bad day or your fitness is down. Let's just try and go a little bit further the next day. And then all of a sudden, 3 or 4 days later, I can get there. I'm not trying to beat any of my I don't think I can beat any of my times anymore on the static, but on the slides, there's a few times I can definitely beat. That's why I'm spending a bit more time on the slides.
And you've got slides in Spain and in Australia, presumably.
Yep, I bought them both. So I got the ones here first in Spain last year, and then when I got home, I bought them at home. But here I've been using them a lot. I don't know why. I don't know why. I've just enjoyed them more because I was doing them in Australia before I left, and it must have been my technique was I kept bumping into everything. And I come here and I haven't touched. I've never bumped into anything. Maybe because I've been on the static for so long, you just need to get back into the rhythm. So, but they're good. I like them. It gave me a new lease of life. All these different records I could go for.
We're obviously looking good on it, Craig. Thanks very much for talking to me. It's been very interesting. How long are you in Spain for now?
I'm here for another 4 weeks or till the 28th of August. And then I'm back to work in the start of September. And then we'll see what happens. See how much I enjoy work. I have to be in Australia for at least 3 months. So I'll probably be at least working for 3 months before I retire.
Okay, well, good luck with that, and hopefully we can actually meet sometime. And it was a good conversation. Great to talk to you.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thanks, Craig.